We've all been addicted to one thing or another in our lives, be it chocolate, smoking, relationships, emotions, sleep, work, or any number of things that life has to offer. It can be subtle or debilitating, but any addiction gone unchecked can have a negative impact on our lives. So we have a caller here online, and his name is Scott, and he's from Long Island, and Scott wants to talk about giving up cigarettes. So, Scott, have we got you online?
Yes.
So, tell me, you want to give up cigarettes. How long are you smoking?
I'll say 10 years.
Okay, you're smoking 10 years. And in that time, how long have you actually remembered smoking?
Remembered actually smoking. Yeah, that's probably why I'm giving you a guesstimate of 10 years. I probably just can't really recall smoking, throughout all those 10 years, but I know it's been a while.
Okay, so how many are you smoking a day now at present?
I guess, probably 10 cigarettes during the day, on a weekday, and then it's obviously like a pack and a half on the weekends.
Okay, so you find that when you're socializing, you smoke more?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, for everybody who's listening, these are some of the important things that you have to catch in your mind, so that'll help you to give up cigarettes whenever you want. So the first question that I'm going to ask you specifically is there any chance that you can remember where you were when you had your first cigarette?
No, I don't recall.
Okay. Well, if what age are you now, you don't mind me asking you?
35.
35. So that means that you would have been around 25, which was quite late in life to be sort of taking up cigarettes, yes?
Yes, but now I'm thinking it was over 10 years I started.
Okay, well, you see, this is why it takes a little bit, but that's okay. And this is wonderful, Scott, and we'll enjoy this process together, because what I'm going to guess is because you were an adult, basically, when you started smoking, unlike, I have people here in Ireland that actually start smoking when they were 8. Imagine that, 8 years of age and taking your first cigarette. So you were an adult. But what it is that you need to focus in on is this. Usually when somebody takes up smoking for the first time, it's to do with a simple smoke screen. In other words, their mind has actually picked up that there's a part of their life that they don't want to look at. Now, whether that part is confidence, lack of confidence, or whatever. So what's the chances that there was something going on in your life that was quite dramatic when you had your first cigarette?
That's probably high around that time, yeah.
Why do you say that? You seem to have remembered something.
No, yeah, that time in my life, I do, recall not being so happy with many parts of it.
Brilliant. That's great. Okay. So again, you can look at those in your own time later on, but there's one aspect of this that's important for you to understand, and it's this. Okay. Have you ever gone to a yoga class?
I believe I did, and it was a long time ago. And I remember not being able to, not very flexible.
Brilliant. Great. And you know something? I could never get flexible either. And yeah, I did 35 years of martial arts. I could never do those box splits. So you know what? I don't know about that flexibility stuff, but this is my point. In a yoga class or a meditation class, the one thing that all those teachers will say to you in order to help you to relax is take a deep breath. So what I'd like you to do, Scott, for me now is take a deep breath for me, please. Oh, brilliant. Good man. Now, did you breathe in through your mouth or your nose?
My mouth.
Yes, of course you did, because that's what smokers do. You see, here's the thing. When you take a cigarette, you got it, yeah? When you take a cigarette for the first time, what do? You actually take in a deep breath using your mouth because it's an oral fixation, right? Mm-hmm. And what happens is the mind starts to run a program, And here's the program it runs. Within the cigarette, you have a chemical that is the addictive part, the nicotine, right? The nicotine is giving a message to your mind saying, this is a time to relax. Your body is also at the receiving from the inhalation breath, it's time to relax. So actually why people continue to smoke is because there's a program in the mind that is actually telling them that this is a relaxing thing to do. Now, even though, and I tell you I've done this for years, even though I explain this information to people, okay, like for instance, most of the countries that grow tobacco are actually poor countries. And the people who actually pick that tobacco are paid by the weight. They're not paid by any other source. They collect it in their baskets or their sacks and it's put up on a scale. And they have no problem whatsoever throwing in a couple of old beetles or a dead rat or two or a snake or whatever it is. And what happens then is that's all poured into a machine and it's all mixed up as part of the tobacco, right? And yet, if you were to say to people, I want you to smoke a few bugs, they would absolutely fall apart at the seams. And yet that's what we're doing, right? So even though it makes sense not to smoke, the problematic part of it is you have a program running in your mind that says smoking relaxes you. So what you have to do is you have to be able to override that program. And the best way to do that is, Scott, when you have time after this program, and don't stop listening till after the program. Don't do this till after the program. I need listeners. So what I need you to do is after the program, take 3 good deep breaths in through your mouth, right? And as you're taking those breaths in, I want you to say these words to yourself. I am smoke free. I am smoke free. Now, what people would normally do is they'd put in what's called a double bind statement like, I don't want to smoke anymore. And you see, what happens is the mind has a habit of separating information into negative and positive phrases. So if I was to say to you now, Scott, don't think of a pink elephant. See what's happened? Exactly. Big pink elephant sitting on the top of your head, right? So
right.
What you have to do is talk to your mind in the way that it listens. And as I said, I am smoke free. So it's a positive statement. And if you do that for a couple of days, you're going to notice your need for cigarettes absolutely reduces. And one system that I've used for years that absolutely works is hypnosis. I found it one of the most effective natural ways of giving up cigarettes, because what they do is they keep you in a state of relaxation for a period of time, usually anything between 20 minutes and a half hour. And during that time, they're able to reprogram who you are. So there you go, my friend. That's what you need to do. You then will find that when you become smoke free, and you will, when you become smoke-free, and you will, that the next thing you're going to have to deal with is putting on a little bit of weight. And the reason for that is, and this is another excuse that people give themselves for not giving up the cigarettes, the reason for that is the little alveoli sacs in your lungs are damaged from all the years of smoking, Scott. And what happens is the body begins to repair itself as soon as you become smoke-free. Right? And to do that, it needs vitamin C, which is one of the things we can't store actually in our body, and vitamin B12. And so how it gets that is by eating more food. And of course, when we eat more food, we put on weight. So what I've always suggested to anybody who wants to come off the cigarettes as well is start to, and I'm not a doctor, so this is not a medical thing at all, start to get slow release vitamin C tablets, and you'll find when you do become smoke-free that you don't actually have the weight problems that comes with being smoke-free. I hope that was helpful to you, Scott.
It was. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for your call. And good man, it's another healthy person we have on the planet.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.